Good evening and welcome back to New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know with all things events and entertainment in New Mexico. I'm Teresa Robinson, and on this month's episode, we are covering topics from our May issue, which is our entertainment issue. On this month's show, we have Candace New to discuss Broadway Bound Live. Terry Klein of Rumble Productions talks about their singing telegrams for May. Alex Paramo of Mariposa Music talks about the Birthday Live Music Initiative. And Amelia Ampero with Duke City Repertory Theater shares their upcoming events. So, let's get started. Broadway Bound Live is a televised musical theater competition show that follows a group of young Broadway hopefuls through a semester of training and 8 rounds of elimination to produce a musical theater champion. The winner will also receive a $60,000 scholarship to AMDA College of Performing Arts in New York. Executive Director of Catharsis Media, Candace New, is here today to tell us more. Candace, thank you for joining us today to talk more about your show. So, I love that you're like pretty much bringing Broadway to New Mexico. So tell us about Broadway Bound Live.
Sure. So Broadway Bound Live is a televised musical theater competition show. It's in the realm of reality TV. It follows a group of low-income young adults through 16 weeks of training, 8 rounds of elimination, and the final 4 finalists will receive scholarships between $40,000 and $60,000 to go to AMDA College of the Performing Arts in New York City. So,
I mean, any show's a big undertaking. What came about creating this one?
You know, what's really crazy is that, so this is season 2 of the production, and season 1 was actually really interesting because I just started my business, Catharsis Media, and I'd been kind of around, you know, the film industry for a super long time, and so I actually ran into a kiddo on a film set one day, and he wasn't a kid. He was like, I don't know, 18, you know, a kid, you know, a kid. But an adult child. And so he was on a film set, and he was doing background work. And I was just talking to him, whatever, and he said that he was trying to make $30,000 that summer doing background so that he could go to AMDA College of Performing Arts in New York City, actually. It was actually that school. And I knew how much background actors got paid. And I was like, baby, you can't make that much money. And by the way, that was just the gap that he had for 1 year. And I was like, well, what are you going to do next year? He's like, you're starting to do this every summer? This isn't going to work. So I was like, yeah. So I did call up a lot of the local theaters, but it wasn't really, you know, something that they could do in that amount of time. You know, he needed it like now. And so I was really sad, but I was a high school theater teacher. And so I kept, you know, doing my thing. And so I decided that the better thing to do with my time would be to stop teaching and to open up a nonprofit that would provide professional level training in the performing arts. Wow. And that's how Catharsis Media came about. And I wanted to do things in a really weird sort of way. And so I really wanted to do intensive things. And so we were starting off with a musical theater camp that literally was 5 days. It was 5 days a week, 3 weeks long. And they were there from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They worked with vocal coaches twice a day, and they had dance lessons and acting lessons. And my goal was to like push them through growth, right? So I actually got a phone call, and it was from my good friend Laura Dale, and she's a Hollywood Foley artist and has an incredible Hollywood resume. She said, Candace, I know you have ideas. I need content. And I'm like, Laura, I opened my business 2 months ago, and I got this weird camp going on. I got 7 kids in a camp. It was crazy. And she's like, yeah, I know you have ideas. And I said, okay, well, I was watching Hell's Kitchen last week with my niece, and I was thinking this would be a really great idea, but, you know, for musical theater. And at the end, you know, these kids would get a giant scholarship to like a performing arts school, right? And I had learned very quickly after I stopped teaching that it wasn't just about the training. There was a gap in training, certainly. My thought was like, I started an organization to provide professional training in the performing arts. They're going to get better scholarships, right? And so it specifically was designed for low-income kids, or, you know, people, not kids. But and what I learned very quickly was that the largest scholarship that they gave at that time was $16,000. So if you add 16 plus all the financial aid you can take out and your Pell Grant, you're still sitting at about a $30,000 gap, which is exactly where that kid was at that I had met, 3-4 years before that on that film set.
Yeah.
And I gave this idea to Laura over the phone, the Hell's Kitchen thoughts. And she was like, let's do it. And I'm like, what? She's like, let's do it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I got off the phone and I hung up. I looked at me. I was like, so we're making a TV show. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of July, so we started planning, right? And about 2-3 months later, middle of the night, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, I have this, I'm going to make this TV show, but I don't even have a prize. Like, what? I'm just going to be like, oh, kids, come hang out.
We have a show.
Right? And it's like, oh, you can be on TV and you can get voice lessons. And we were going to give private voice lessons, group dance, group acting lessons, which was great, but no prize. So I'm like, map for what? I don't know what you're competing for. Eliminations for what? I don't know. And so I, thought about that kid and I said, I'm going to email AMDA. And so I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I wrote a very eloquent email to Jonathan Warbay, who was the director of admissions at that time. And I heard nothing.
I was just waiting for nothing.
I know, nothing. And then about 2 weeks later, I got an email that said, we're very excited. Let's talk. And I mean, this was like before the pandemic, right? So like there wasn't like Zoom, like I was like, do I download Skype? Like, that's that weird. Like, I'm not flying to New York. What am I doing? Oh my God. So I sent some slides and then I'm like, well, how are we doing? It's just a phone call. And so I call and he answers the phone and I'm expecting like a group. I don't know. Yeah. And it's just him and it's just a phone call. And I sent slides and so I was all nervous and I just start talking and I'm like, okay. And I'm like working through these slides. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And he stops me about 5 minutes and he's like, I'm just going to interrupt you. And I was like, oh God. And he's like, I'm just going to tell you what we're going to give you. And I'm like, you're going to give me something? Like, oh my God, right? Like, this is amazing.
Much better than
I know. This is great. Okay, great. So he said, we're going to give you a director's scholarship. It's not quite a full ride. He said that the student would have to take out whatever financial aid that they would be given, through the federal government, including student loans. However, anything above and beyond that, they would pay for. Room and board, housing, all of it. And so I was like, it wasn't great, but it was what they needed. It was the gap, right? And so that was in 2019, and we put up our first season. We sent a kid named Corbin Mejia off to New York City. He's the one who won. In season 2, we got a scholarship or a grant from the Urban Enhancement Trust Fund, which allowed us to provide scholarships for private voice, group dance, and group acting lessons for the entire 16 weeks for the entire cast, which is 14 contestants this season. And so this season we have 14 contestants. We're in the finale. So they've competed through dance challenges and vocal challenges and improv challenge. They did a runway show. They've done all kinds of things.
Wow.
They are in round 8, and we're kind of, it's the finale. So for the finale round, we produce an original musical. This is a new show. It's called You're a Catch, Why Are You Single? And it's a musical written by a young woman named Sarah Winan. She is out of Australia. And it is about the woes of online dating. Ooh. So I think it's perfect for this crowd.
Yeah.
And for anybody, let's be honest.
Yep.
Like, I mean, everybody's on those apps now, which is, and it's just like, and so it's hilarious. Sometimes, there are some heartbreaking moments as well. And there's a beautiful story involved. So it is the production of an original musical. It'll be May the 20th and 21st. Mm-hmm. And it's an 8-person musical, so we're down to 8.
Wow.
And 4 of those 8 will be going to New York City this year. And it's not a director's scholarship. It is a pure, complete scholarship. We also are having a workshop with Hamilton. The cast of Hamilton is coming out. And so that's going to come out, or they're going to come out and they're going to work with our cast. And it is an open workshop. We will be able to take 45 additional people, and it's free of charge. So they're going to come out, and so you guys can be looking out for that as well. It's going to be a great week. That'll be May the 18th. And then sometime on, I believe, the 20th, there will be another masterclass by the AMDA, or the AMDA representative that's going to come out. And I don't know who that is just yet. So we're going to find out.
Goodness, so much stuff packed into an idea for one show. So May 20th through the 21st is when the musical will happen.
It's at the National Hispanic Cultural Center. They've been sponsoring our entire show, which is fabulous. So they're coming out. And yeah, it'll be really awesome. I also want to give a shout out to Diamond Elite Luxury Homes. They are housing our out-of-state contestants. So there are 5 of them living in a house called the Broadway Bound Live House. And that's been a whole different adventure this season too.
Wonderful. Well, where can people learn more about the show?
They can visit our website at www.catharsismedia.org/BroadwayBoundLive. It's right there on the bottom of your screen. You can also, follow me on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Broadway Bound Live. And that's, there's contestants who are posting every day. They're creating blogs and they're posting all over social media every day. It's amazing. So you can kind of follow their journey. It's a great thing. And then eventually the season will be released. So right now we're filming, which is really interesting. And then we'll have to actually release the season photography-wise. So if you come out and be part of our live studio audience, you will have to be quiet about some things. But come and join us and vote. The audience gets to vote.
Well, congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming by and telling us more about it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is beautiful.
Wonderful. We'll be back. Rumble Productions, founded by Jessica Walks in 2015, was created after years of workshopping new musical improv styles with her a cappella choir. Presented in the Southwest, the company draws in great minds and talent. Terry Klein is with us today to discuss the production company and upcoming projects. Terry, thank you for joining us today to talk more about Rumble Productions and what they have coming up. So I want to start, for those who may not know about the organization, tell us about it and how it began.
Rumble began as a group doing musical sketch comedy improv, which is really working without a net. Improv is hard, singing is hard, and then you take away the accompaniment, and you're on and you're doing musical comedy sketches improv. Oh, and we started doing that, and then we started writing some of our sketches, and we had a show, a Christmas show, and then we did a dinner show. We did dinner theater down at the Sheraton. Then Jessica moved away.
Yes.
So we were thinking, what can we still do in Albuquerque with Jessica away? And she said, well, why don't you do flash mobs? Why don't you do singing telegrams? So we do flash mobs and singing telegrams. And we've been supporting her work. She has gone on to do music videos. She had 2 music videos in the Santa Fe Film Festival this past February.
Wow.
And she wrote the songs, she sang the songs, she wrote the music. It's amazing.
That woman is just a one-stop shop for everything
Yes.
when it comes to performance. So the singing telegrams, I know that's a big thing you guys are doing. So how does that work? How does that work if somebody wants to get one or provide?
Somebody wants to get one, they go on the Rumble website, rumbleabq.com, and order one, and you can order somebody to come sing a song, or a couple of people to come sing a song, or you can ask us to write a song or a skit. I do a lot of the writing.
Oh my goodness.
Here in Albuquerque. Yeah, I enjoy it because I feel like we help people make fun. People tell us about their loved ones and what they want to highlight for them. I've had anniversaries. We've done anniversaries. We did a graduation. We did a graduation during the pandemic when the woman had a kind of a drive-by graduation because there was lockdown. So we decided to give her another graduation ceremony, a fake graduation ceremony over Zoom for her family and friends.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we had a good time with her. We told her family and friends that we were doing this and could they please produce a few props at particular times in the little skit. So she was graduating in forensic accounting. So we got her a huge bag of beans since she was going to be a bean counter. And we also, when we talked about forensic accounting, we produced a big saw, you know, as if we were going to do an autopsy right there. And we told her friends to produce their own implements of destruction, their own knives and saws and anything sharp they could find in their house, because it was the pandemic. It wasn't like people were going to go out and buy things.
Exactly.
So find something sharp in your house. And when we say, welcome to the world of forensic accounting, and we pull out that big saw, we want to see everybody's knives. So they did that. We had a good time.
So it is definitely not your standard gram that you're getting. It is something that is specialized and, you know, created for them.
We can do straight song, you know, you tell us what song you want us to sing, and we can be there and sing a song, or we can get fancy. If you want us to get fancy and creative. The most recent one, we did an April Fool's Day prank on a man who works at Malloy Dodge, and they gave me all the dirt on him. And we changed up the song Suspicious Minds because he hates that song.
And perfect.
Yes. And so we talked all about him. But I like doing things that are based on friendship and love. So it was a gentle poke. Yeah, a gentle poke.
So where can people learn more about Rumble to order the grams? Where can they find out more about it?
They can visit our website at rumbleabq.com, RUMBLE, like my shirt. abq.com. There's a lot of Rumbles out there, but we're the only one with ABQ in our name.
Wonderful. Well, Terry, thank you again for stopping by and telling us more about the organization and what you have going on. And we hope you get a lot more grams coming in.
We hope so, too. They're fun.
We'll be back. Birthday Live is back providing music for downtown Albuquerque. These family-friendly live music performances are free and open to the public. Today we talk with event organizer Alex Paramo of Mariposa Music about the upcoming concerts. Thank you, Alex, for joining me today to talk more about your company and its involvement with bringing back a very popular series.
Yes, Teresa, thank you so much for having me on. First of all, I'm a big fan of what you do here with the magazine and what you guys have been doing for years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a big piece of what goes on in the city. And this Birthday Live series is something that the city initiated a few years ago, and they brought it back last year during Balloon Fiesta, you know, post-COVID,
yeah,
of course. And the whole idea is to revitalize downtown, right? How long have we been talking about that? For years,
time.
Right? So, and everybody's wishing and hoping. So the economic development, that department, mm-hmm. they're in charge of kind of overseeing downtown and what goes on and trying to spruce up the businesses. So the whole idea is to bring music, entertainment, bring the arts to some of the non-traditional businesses like Flyby Provisions, 505 Central Food Hall, and get folks to kind of in the mood to shop and spend some money. And more feet on the ground downtown means less crime. It means that people are shopping local. It means that this becomes a more attractive place to come to.
Now, when it comes to who's chosen to perform
Yeah.
in these areas, I mean, because you're no stranger to music in this town,
Right.
Mariposa Music is your business. How are you combining your company with this event?
So that's a really great question. So working with economic development, I'm working with Alan Packman, who does Somos and so many other events. And we've kind of been known, Mariposa Music has been known as a kind of a live local music company for a while. And, you know, we have a database of musicians, not just that we work with personally, but new musicians, new people moving in. And, you know, we have a team of people that kind of choose, and we try to give as much opportunity as possible. You don't want to go with the same folks over and over. I mean, we all love Reviva, right?
Yeah,
I work for them,
exactly.
but we want to hear the new stuff as well. And sometimes we'll bring in regional acts as well. So, yeah, it's a good question. If you know someone, send them our way.
Wonderful. So I know everything's still in the works. Do we know when concerts will be starting up?
Thank you. That's another great question. You're just full of great questions. So we do have the longer 6-month series, the Boudica Live series, and that's going to start in May with the Reggae Fest. So the first series is Reggae Fest. It's May 11th over at Bosey Brothers, and we just mentioned Reviva, so they're going to be playing. You know, they've been playing reggae in this town for a long time. And Bobby Hustle, who's from LA, he's a pretty big actor over there. He's a regional, is what we call him.
Yeah.
And he's going to come into town. And so Boudica Live, the city was like, this sounds like a great opportunity to bring people over to Bosey Brothers. Now, all of these events are free, family friendly most of the time. This one at Bosey will be 21 and over, but most of the time they'll be family friendly as well. And then moving forward, we're going to try to do one of those once a month. Not necessarily reggae. So we might have a jazz thing.
Different varieties of genre of music.
And you can go to mariposamusicrocks.com for the schedule when we roll that out. But we've done some smaller things as well. We just had the track and field championships over at the convention center. So we had buskers as well out in the street trying to make people feel at home.
Wonderful.
So
once again, where can everybody find out about the initiative and your company as well?
Yeah, so my website is mariposamusicrocks.com. If you could just look up Mariposa Music on Facebook and Instagram. Boudica Live also has a website, boudicalive.com, and Boudica Live has a couple of assets as well. So you can find information there. But we also do events for private companies like Elvado, Ponderosa. So we do public and private. And I've been, getting into the whole DJ thing now. This is part of Boudica Live. The food truck corral here on 2nd.
Yes.
Remember that? We brought some DJs over there. So that's exciting. And we're thinking that's another crime reduction effort. That's a dark parking lot and stuff happens. So to light it up, have some food trucks, get people to eat and sober up a little bit before they drive.
Wonderful idea.
It's a good idea.
And so much stuff.
Last couple of weeks that we've done it, the numbers show that crime has gone down. So,
well, you have always provided a service here in New Mexico. I mean, not just the music, and we get to announce that you are now our music writer for the magazine. So I'm happy to have you be a part.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in today, telling us about the initiative and your business. And
thanks you, Teresa.
Folks will be seeing a lot more of them.
Awesome. Yes, check out my article in New Mexico Entertainment about Ryan Montaño.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot.
So thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Duke City Repertory Theater provides professional opportunities to artists of color and works by and about people from historically undervalued groups. Along with creating top-notch, diverse performances, they want to be the premier regional theater company in the Southwest. Amelia Ampero is here to tell us more about the company and their Bard Crawl event.
Thank you, Amelia, for coming out today to tell us more about Duke City Repertory Theater, for those who may not know, and also what you have coming up, which sounds very interesting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So Duke City Rep is, we're a professional nonprofit theater here in Albuquerque. COVID messed everything up. So I guess we're in our 13th season. It's a little funky.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But we do theatrical productions, and we do them everywhere and anywhere, from farms to actual theaters to bars.
My goodness. And you have a very interesting event that you have going on, which is the Bard Crawl.
Yes, yeah. So that is where we take a full-length Shakespeare play into local breweries. The catchphrase, the sort of slogan for Bard Crawl is serious actors, no director, one rehearsal in a bar. And all of that is true. We have one rehearsal, there's no director, and we perform a full-length Shakespeare play in a local bar.
So where did the idea come? I mean, Bard Crawl. I mean, frankly, I think it's an amazing idea that you're combining that. So, I mean, where did it come from?
So it's based on Backroom Shakespeare, which is based in Chicago, and the founder of that, Samuel Taylor, is actually from Albuquerque. So that's a cool little connection. And it's all basically done to sort of get Shakespeare back to the way it was done when he was writing his plays 400 years ago, to get back to that kind of, unknown, wild body sort of territory. So yeah, it's become one of our most popular projects. This will be our 4th one.
So I mean, I gotta imagine what the camaraderie is, because I mean, that's a lot to pile in with Shakespeare.
Very
and
much.
having it. So what has it been like with rehearsals and really getting this planned?
I mean, we really do have one rehearsal. That'll be in about 2 weeks. And we start performing May 4th at Public House ABQ. That's our first performance. And it's just, the entire project of Bard Crawl is really cool because there is no director, and you have this one rehearsal, and you're doing it in a bar, and it forms this really amazing tight-knit group because we're all out there on the tightrope without a net. But we're all out there together.
Oh my goodness. So the first performance is May 4th?
May 4th.
Okay. And where can people find out more information about Duke City and when upcoming performances are?
Sure, they can go to our website, and that is at www.dukecityrep.com. And this show, like all of our shows, is pay what it's worth. That means you decide the value of your experience after watching the show.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Amelia, thank you for coming in today and telling us
me.
more, and we were happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I was glad to be here.
Thanks. We'll be back.
Here is your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. Don't throw away your shot. Hamilton finally makes it to the Popejoy stage. Hear your favorite songs from the 2016 Tony Award-winning musical. Hamilton runs from May 9th through the 28th at Popejoy Hall in Albuquerque. The Mine Shaft Tavern hosts the 17th annual Crawdaddy Blues Fest, featuring live music and some of the tastiest crawfish you ever had. The Crawdaddy Blues Fest is on May 22nd through the 21st in Madrid. The New Mexico Wine Festival features New Mexico's best wineries, exceptional food trucks, talented artisans, and award-winning musicians. The event runs from May 27th through the 29th at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque. This has been your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.
Thank you for joining us for this month's episode of New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know for all things events and entertainment in New Mexico. Join us next month as we cover topics from our June issue, which is our Pride issue. Have a good night.
For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.